Hi guys, this is Bill. And I remember this craze about tortilla soup. Everyone was making it. It was pretty basic and bland, and I never really understood, and it kind of faded away. And some of the local Mexican restaurants still serve it, but doesn't have a whole lot of flair. So I kind of sat down and put together a game plan of how to make it, taste good, and make you want to eat. I guess that's the biggest thing. So let's get started. I got 2 tablespoons of olive oil in here, getting hot. I think it's pretty darn hot. Of course it is. All right. So I got just a basic yellow onion that I chopped up. Got 2 jalapenos that I cut up, about the same size as the onion. Now, what I do is I make sure I get the seeds out. I got a little vein in it, of the jalapeno, that's where the heat is. Otherwise, it's going to taste like a little extra hot green pepper. And if you're afraid of the heat, certainly you can slice them down. Then I got me a couple 4 cloves of garlic that I minced up really, really well. Let this kind of soften and cook. So I want this to cook for a couple minutes. Why I do that? I'm going to show you how I'm going to put this all together. I got a chicken breast that I grilled out on the grill. Like I've said this 100 times before, when you're grilling it and you know you're going to cook it later, don't cook it all the way, or when you throw it in like your soup or whatever you're going to make, it's going to be really tough. Alright. So I got a pretty good size chicken breast here, and why I'm showing you this is because people are always asking me. So I want to get it up on end. Just want to slice it in half. This is pretty fresh out of the freezer. Still frozen in the center, which is okay because guess what? It makes it a whole lot easier to cut. Okay. So all I want to do now is I'm going to cut some strips. Because basically we want bite-sized chunks. This is soup, not stew. And if I had cut this about 10 minutes ago, it would probably been a little easier, but that's all right. Always watch where your fingers are. I don't look at the camera when I'm cooking or cutting. That was Freudian. Okay. I'm gonna take a quick check here, see what's going on. Oh yeah, this is all looking good. I was smelling the garlic there, just want to make sure it wasn't burning. So now, I need to get these finished cut up, because we're going to be ready for these before you know it. I just like the fact that when I grill this, I'm going to add a little flavor to it. Obviously you could fry in a pan and it'd be just as good. So let's get this thrown in here. Get a little more room on the cutting board. I had comments before about I should use a bench scraper instead of my knife. I used to have a really nice one, basic wooden handle, you know, a stainless blade, and somehow I lost it and I have not found one. Most of the bench scrapers are really like used for pastry work, and they've got, you know, the measurements on them so you can measure out like when you're cutting dough. And I don't know. They always have plastic, flimsy. Poo-poo on that. Alright, now of course, we're just handling poultry, so guess what? I'm going to go wash my hands. Yeah, I'm gonna get all this out of my way. Stir it around, see what it's looking like. Smelling really good. And like I said, just the grill marks on this chicken really add something to it. So I need to add some really important flavors. I've got 2 teaspoons of oregano and 2 teaspoons of cumin. Love the smell of cumin. I use it in my white bean chili, and I just think it just adds so much. I use it in my guacamole too. Everything's looking pretty happy in here. If you could smell this, you'd be really thrilled. Alright, so I'm going to call this, the veggies are cooked for about 4 minutes now. I took the time to cut the chicken up, so hopefully we're going to be good to go. So next, I have some diced tomatoes. These are fire roasted. Really love the taste of these. These are organic. So let's just toss these in here. Oh yeah. Also good. Now, it's soup. I need liquid. So I've got myself a whole box of unsalted chicken broth, or stock, I'm sorry. Crank up the heat a little bit. I really want to get this back up to a nice simmer before we do anything else. Let's just stir around. So once again, I really haven't added any salt. I'm using unsalted stock, trying to keep things a little healthier. That's really important. It's starting to come back to a boil. So, I said I wasn't using salt, okay. But I'm going to put in 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. I decided to explode all over me. It did. And this is the real surprise. I juiced up 2 limes. Oh yeah, that's going to make everything really, really happy. Just give it a stir. Get this up to a nice simmer. It's almost there. Definitely why I'm not a big fan of electric stoves, because you really can't regulate the heat that well. Get it hot, and it takes forever to cool down. Get it cool, it takes forever to heat up. So the other thing is we really want to give this enough time. So I'm giving enough time, I'm bringing it up to a slow simmer here, because I really want all these flavors to kind of blend together. And hopefully you're going to try this version and think this is much better than anything you've ever had. And, you know, impress all your friends, right? Isn't that what it's all about? Still smelling really good. Like I said, you know, I like to pick a nice summer day. It's not too hot. Maybe get myself a nice glass of wine, go out on the grill, and just grill up a whole bunch of boneless chicken breasts. Olive oil, that's all it takes, just so it doesn't stick. Cook until they got a nice sear on them. And individually wrap them, throw them in the freezer, mark them chicken so you don't keep opening up, see what the heck they are. I do that sometimes. Alright, so I'm seeing a little activity in here. I'm gonna call that a simmer. Absolutely. Yep, looking good. So here's the real trick that I never knew. Because I've eaten so much bad tortilla soup, but I finally found one I liked. We're going to put a half a cup of rice in it. Just get that stirred in. So this rice is going to take about 20 minutes of simmering. Just want to simmer it, I'm not going to boil it all the way. And while it's doing that, I'm going to get my kitchen cleaned up. I'm going to show you how we put this all together and make it look really good. So see you back about 20 minutes. Alright, so it's been 20 minutes. The rice is all nice and cooked. Everything's mixed together real well. It's really, really hot, but I'm going to dish a little up so we can take a look at it, because I really want to try it. Trusty ladle. That's what I call it. A little taste. Because, you know, actually sometimes I make more than one video in a day. If I eat all this stuff, I'd be a lot fatter than I am. Alright, so how do we finish off this soup? Well, first of all, I found these tortilla strips. I'm going to try them. I usually make my own, but it's really easy. You know, you cut up a corn tortilla shell, you can bake it, you can air fry it, or you can fry it, which I at least like. So I just want to put some on top. Gotta have some cheese. I like this cheese because it's nice and big, so it sits on top real well. It's going to melt right in there. And now, at this point, if you want it, which I like, but not everyone does, you can put a little plop of sour cream in there just to make it look pretty. I don't think it really changes anything, but I like the looks of it. And then I got some fresh cilantro that I just kind of chopped up. It's just a real pretty presentation. You can't knock it. Soup is good. Soup is good for you. And good soup is even better for you. So try some of my soups. I got a whole bunch of them out there and I've got more to come. And let me know what you think, your recommendations. But I just think this, I'm kind of drooling over this soup because it just smells so good. I think that little pinch of cilantro on top really adds. And like I said, if you want to, you could add sour cream. There's nothing unhealthy about this soup. You know, tortilla strips are probably the worst thing, but so what? Still not a lot of calories. All right, so if I were you, I'd run out, make it, and just enjoy it, especially when the weather's cold. Soups are just great. And you know, nothing would go better than like a grilled cheese sandwich would go real good with this. I'm actually going to make some wraps to go with it, and I've made those before. I could link that too. So like I said, have fun, enjoy, and I'm going to see you next time.